Thưa quý khán giả của Viet News USA, sống ở Hoa Kỳ, nơi được mệnh danh là thiên đàng trên đất, với sự kết hợp của các giống dân cùng chung sống và chia sẻ các ngôn ngữ, văn hóa, đem lại một sự kết hợp hùng mạnh khó có đất nước nào có thể sánh bằng. Tìm hiểu thêm về các cộng đồng bạn qua những con người thật, việc thật, cũng sẽ giúp chúng ta biết thêm được nhiều cái hay, cái quý đáng học hỏi. Chương trình song ngữ, cuộc sống quanh ta, với các khách mời là những doanh nhân, nghệ sĩ, thương gia, chính trị gia, sẽ đem đến cho chúng ta nhiều bất ngờ thú vị. Chương trình được sử dụng với hai ngôn ngữ tiếng Anh và tiếng Việt, và với sự điều phối thật linh động lưu loát của cô hướng dẫn chương trình xinh đẹp và tài giỏi của tiểu bang Arizona, Tiffany Mộng Tuyệt, sẽ giúp các bạn trẻ thêm sự gần gũi với cộng đồng Việt Nam và cũng như những người khán giả của Viet News USA biết thêm được nhiều thông tin cuộc sống xung quanh ta. Trọng Phúc chào đón quý khán giả đến với chương trình của Viet News USA, một chương trình thiết thực cho mọi gia đình. Cảm ơn quý khán giả đã luôn ủng hộ các chương trình của Viet News USA và đặc biệt là chương trình song ngữ cuộc sống quanh ta. Chương trình nằm nối kết các thế hệ với nhau bằng một chương trình song ngữ. Ngoài ra, chương trình còn tạo điều kiện để chúng ta cùng tìm hiểu về những cộng đồng bạn, những văn hóa, phong tục, tập quán, cùng những thành công, những gương tốt để chúng ta cùng thêm sự hiểu biết và cùng hòa nhập trong cuộc sống tại Hợp Trung Quốc Hoa Kỳ.
Hey everyone, welcome back to today's episode. We are talking to someone who seemingly look extremely young, but you will probably find out that he's going to be capable of what he will be presenting to us and representing us as well. I'm Tiffany Nguyen, and glad to have you here with us. Viet News USA, our producer David Pham has arranged for this interview, and I'm really excited for you to meet Joseph Yen. So Joseph, well, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
So I just said that you look extremely young.
Yes.
Is that something that you generally hear from people who meet you for the first time?
Yes, it is. And I tell them it's the Korean skincare.
Okay. So talk about that. Do you actually use any Korean skincare?
Not really.
Okay.
My parents use a lot. My parents use, or just my mom, she uses a lot, but not me. I every now and then she'll give me something and then I put it on or wear it or whatever, but yeah.
Okay, so we've been sharing that you're Korean,
Yes.
and this year you're actually running for city council.
Yes, I am.
I heard that there's a few positions to fill, and you feel you are ready for one of the positions. So tell us a little bit about this journey.
Absolutely. So it's not an easy journey, as I'm sure a lot of people know. Running for office is never easy. This journey, it's all about, the reason why I'm running is all about continuing to serve the community and also representing my community. When we look at the Chandler is a really well-run and it's a great city. And I've had the pleasure and opportunity to serve its residents and the city in numerous capacities. And that's the reason why I'm running, is it's all about continuing to serve the community that I've grown up serving. And that's why I'm running. And so when you think about that and it's all about community service, it doesn't make it really hard, because it's all about connecting with the voters and meeting the residents of Chandler.
Okay. And like I said, you look really young. Do you mind sharing with our audience how old you are and how long has it been since you serviced the city of Chandler?
Absolutely. I'm 21 years old, and I've been serving the city of Chandler for close to 6 years now.
6 years. So what got you started?
So I got originally started, actually not 6 years, I'm doing the math in my head. I started when I was 12 years old. So that would be actually about 9 years.
Wow.
9 years. So when I was 12 years old, I started volunteering at the Chandler Public Library.
Okay.
As a teen volunteer, signing people up, helping with different programs in the library. And then from there, I got the opportunity to be on the Teen Advisory Council. And from there, I became the president. And then I continued to volunteer, and I actually got an award from the President of the United States for my volunteer service to the state and the city. I got the Presidential Volunteer Service Award.
Wow.
And that was in 2017 when I was 14 years old. Excuse me. And from there, I got a little more involved, and I got reached out to, and I actually started helping on some different subcommittees, planning events. So I sat on the subcommittee to help plan the first ever Asian village on the 21st Multicultural Festival. And that was a huge hit. We did it under the leadership, not under the leadership, but we did it with help of Council Member Sam Wong, who's the first ever Asian council member that was elected in Chandler. And from then on, it just took off. From there, I noticed that there were not a lot of teen volunteer programs or resources for teens that want to get involved. So I started a nonprofit called the Teen Unity Board when I was 16 years old, and I got teens involved. We hosted some different teen unity forums where we talked about issues that affect teens in the community, like gangs and violence. We talked about mental health. We talked about crisis response. We talked about counselors and psychologists in the schools, and a myriad of different resources that are available. And fast forward now to more present day, I volunteered for the Chandler Police Department in their Operational Support Bureau for about 5 years. And then from there, I was appointed by the mayor to serve on the Police Commission. It's the actual name is the Citizens Panel of Review for Police Complaints and Use of Force. But a lot of people refer it to as the Police Commission.
Okay.
And then I also serve currently as the 501c3 executive board member of a 501c3 that serves Chandler Police Department. And then we're also planning, so far we actually have our meeting tomorrow to plan our upcoming Asian American Community Conference. That's going to be in May of 2024. It's going to be our third annual one. I was on the steering committee for the first one 3 years ago, and I'm proud to be on the one this year as well. It's about bringing the resources that are available in the community to the Asian community in May, which is Asian American Heritage Month. So that's kind of my history of service to the city, but and so for me, it's all about continuing to serve, and I have a lot of good ideas that I feel that will move Chandler forward, and I am excited to bring them to council and bring my youth perspective as well as bringing the Asian voice.
Wow, what an incredible journey, I must say. I mean, it sounds like you've lived 100 years, not just 21. Amazing accomplishments there, Joseph, I want to highlight. And I love it when young people are enthusiastic, they have a vision, they have goals, they have things that they want to achieve in life that's very much different from, the typical standards that's put on us, like doctors, become some sort of software engineers and so on. You definitely carved a different path for you. How do your parents feel about this?
Well, it depends on the day you ask them.
Okay.
If they're in a good mood, then they're happy.
Uh-huh.
I think, that's a really important subject I want to touch on. And I think a lot of Asian parents feel that way because obviously through my work with the different Asian communities, I'm also one of the advisors and I help the Arizona Korean Association.
Mm-hmm.
And, working with a lot of Asian parents and Asian community members,
Mm-hmm.
I learned that the reason, and I actually did, I got to speak to a group of young Asian children. And Asians are very go-get-it attitude, go-get-it spirit. If you look at our Mayor's Youth Commission in Chandler, a majority of that is Asian youth.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very go-get-it. And I think the reason for that is because a lot of Asian parents are not even first generation. They immigrated here. They are like the first people here. And they know how hard it is to work every day, physical labor, manual labor. It's very labor intensive and they know how hard it is. And they don't want you to have that life. They want you to succeed. They want you to be successful. And when you look at all the careers that are successful, doctors, lawyers, engineers, software developers, they're the ones that are making a lot of money, not doing labor intensive work every day. And it's also a highly respected field. Even in the Korean culture, my mom is a pastor, and pastors have this high regard. They're very well respected. They're almost treated like royalty. And you have those professions that are viewed as very royal and very high status. And I think that's the primary reason for that. And so I always tell the Asian youth, I say, look, what you need to do is you need to find your way in life, and you, like you said, carve your own path. But you also need to have understanding of where your parents are coming from. They don't want you to have to work hard every day. My dad, the main complaint he has about me being in politics is, number one, you're at the mercy of other people every 4 years, or 2 years, depending on what office you run for. Every 4 to 2 years, you're at the mercy of somebody else. And if one day you do one wrong thing, the whole world knows about it. And so that's why he has his hesitations about me being involved in politics, because every 4 years, every 2 years, you're always renewing your job. There's no job security. You could run for office, get elected, and then 4 years later, you don't win. And then where are you? So, my compromise, because I'm always about compromising with him, is I also have a part-time job. I work for a police department. So I do have a stable job, because in all honesty, I don't want politics to be a money thing for me. It's always going to be about the community, and it's always going to be about serving others and making sure that we have representation.
Okay, very well said. So I can tell you my perspective as well, not being a little older than you are. When I first came here, I guess anybody my age, what they'll typically feel about politics is, if it's politics, we run. We don't talk about it, we don't venture into it, there's just too much complications, and we just don't like to confront people. So you definitely have a different view on politics. Tell us about that.
Absolutely. So my view on politics is, in America, we're very lucky and fortunate to have a representative government.
Okay.
So a representative government is, when our founding fathers created this country, they wanted it to be for the people, of the people, by the people, meaning that we represent ourselves. And that's what's really important to me, is it's a representative government. And Chandler actually has the highest population of Asian Americans in the entire state. We have, I believe, 26,000 Chandler residents. Don't quote me on that, I could be off. I know I'm close in the number. We have close to 26,000 residents, and that should be about 13% of our population being Asian. Yet, about 4 years ago, we had our first Asian council member, Sam Huang. And we have the highest population, yet we've just had our first Asian council member in the close to more than 100 years that Chandler has been a city. And when we think about equal representation, obviously, we're all Americans, and that's how I view it. We're all Americans, and we all serve the same country. But when it comes to cultural backgrounds, it's good to have that equal, fair representation, mainly because, the interests of the Asian community, nobody's going to care more about the interests of the Asian community than somebody that is from the Asian community. So when I talk about that, it's not just, because I think that when we talk about a lot of representation, we get a little divisive. And what I say is, we're all Americans, we're all working for the same goal, but the only person that's going to care about your community the most is going to be somebody from your community. It's kind of like your family, right? Nobody is going to advocate for your family more than one of your family members. And that's how I view it, is, we have the highest population of Asian Americans, and we need to get some representation back on our council so we can have somebody advocating for the Asian community. Not to say that it's not being done, because we do have a lot of, we've been getting better. Since Sam Huang has taken office, we've gotten a lot more events, and we've done a lot more in the Asian community. But I want to continue that, and not to mention, I will be the first Korean council member. We've never had a Korean council member on council.
That's going to be an accomplishment. So in your opinion, in your view, in your observations here, what are the top two, say, topics or areas or challenges that you're going to help the Asian community to either overcome or to get to a better place?
So I love that question. One big challenge that I would love to see overcome is Asian voter turnout.
Asian voter turnout.
Yes, absolutely. One thing that we see across the board is that Asians have a low voter turnout. And even you said, in the Asian community, we hear politics, and we run away. And just like that, they run away. And I want to change that. And being on council will give me that voice. And it's not about, a lot of people ask me, Joseph, why do you want to be on council? What can you do on council that you can't do now? Some people say, actually, you have more power not on council than you do on council, because, you're not held to the standards of the city. And I agree, but the thing about being a council member is a megaphone. The way I view it is, it's like a megaphone. It's not anything special, because I think everybody can serve their community without being on council. For me, it's being a megaphone. We've got a megaphone, and we're going to say, and it's about advocating for the different things. You get that elevated platform. And that's what I want to do, is I want to help get Asians to come out and vote. because a lot of things affect us, and a lot of different, a lot of Asian communities I see in their houses, they go, oh, I hate that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't like that. Now, do you vote? No.
Right.
Well, then how do you hate it? You're giving up, you're willingly you're giving up your voice. A voice that many people have spilled their blood for, have died for, and I'm a very proud Korean American. I say American Korean because I'm an American citizen first, and I'm very proud to be an American because we have a rich history of people that have died to serve America. I mean, and it's not just, and it's all people of all backgrounds. We had Asians, African Americans, we had Hispanics, all sorts of people in the military spilling blood to make sure that we're in a free country. There's people that have given their lives for that ideology, and for you to not vote, it really hurts me because you're giving up your voice. It's a lot of it's just one vote. Well, think about it. If 1 million people said, oh, it's just one vote, we would lose an entire state. All it takes is 1 million people to say, oh, it's just one vote, right? We need to get out of that.
Sometimes it makes a huge difference.
Absolutely it does, and we need to make sure.
And we've seen it in previous, in the elections not long ago, so certainly
absolutely
a vote counts.
Absolutely, and I think the biggest challenge as well is the language barrier, because some communities, it's only one language, like, Spanish, right? Spanish is fairly universal with maybe a few different dialects depending on where you live, but it's generally universal. But in the Asian community, we have Korean, we have Vietnamese, Japanese, Chinese Mandarin, Chinese traditional, we've got Taiwanese, we've got Indonesian, we have so many different languages that I think that's another big battle, a big hurdle, is that, a lot of people, it's something that's weary of people is they can't understand it. So, I don't understand it, so I'm just gonna throw it away.
So do you go to, say, Asian businesses in Chandler or other locations to educate people or at least inform them of key milestone dates and or even the process itself?
I try to. Every time I see a friend of mine or anybody that's Asian community, a lot of people, if you don't know them personally, oh my gosh, no, we can't do that. I actually know a Korean business owner in Chandler, and I know her very well now, but I used to not. And before I said, hey, my name is Joseph Yang, I'm working with so-and-so, and, do you think we could just put a couple of things on your business table? And she said, oh, no politics, no, I never do that. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, make sure you vote. Oh, I don't vote.
Yeah.
You don't vote?
All right.
And it's very sad. It's very sad because she's Korean, and I offered, I said, I'll go with you and I'll help translate and I'll show you everything. And she was like, oh no, I don't do that. And I'm like, okay.
But you keep on trying. So while we do have the audience attention here, what are some of the key dates that everybody should remember, especially if you live in Chandler?
Absolutely. So yesterday we just had the presidential preference election, where if you were a Democrat, you could elect one of your nominees for president. If you're a Republican, you could elect one of your nominees for president. And then on July 30th, we are going to have a primary election. And that is where if you're a Republican, you'll be selecting between Mark Lamb, Carrie Lake, and a handful of others in the Senate race, which is the big top ticket. And then obviously there's other ones. And then in the Democrat, you're going to have Ruben Gallego, and there's another one, but I can't think of the name, but Ruben Gallego is top of the ticket on my mind right now. And so July 30th, that's an important date to note, because that date has changed. Usually it's the first Tuesday in August, but this year the date's been moved to July 30th, a week in advance. Right. So that's very important for people to understand and note that the date has changed. And then on top of that, my election is on July 30th. It's done in the primary. Most of your local elections, your city council elections, end in the primary election.
So remember, that's a key date for Joseph, July 30th.
Correct. And if you're not registered Republican or Democrat, and you're an independent, you have to request a ballot. You can't, if you show up to the polls on the primary date, they're gonna look at you and give you a very tiny piece of paper that only has one race. You need to request either a Republican ballot or a Democrat ballot, and then you can vote on that. Or you can request a local-only ballot, a city-only ballot. So if you don't want to vote Republican or Democrat, you can go to the polls and say, I would like a city-only ballot, and they will give you a ballot with just my race, or just the town of Gilbert, just the city of Tempe, city of Mesa, depending on where you live.
So my understanding is that you have already collected enough signatures, 1,000 or more, to make it onto the ballot. That means we are gonna see Joseph's name on the ballot.
Absolutely.
How do you feel about accomplishment first and foremost? This is a surprise for you.
Yeah, I'm enthusiastic. I really am. I can't put into how, I really can't convey how grateful I am for the residents of Chandler. 1,000 signatures, I need 1,000 to be on the ballot. I've hit that goal, so I will be on your ballot. You will see my name if you live in the city of Chandler. And really, when I got on the streets, I was a little worried. A lot of people saying, oh, you're too young. You can't run. You need to live life a little more. But once I hit the streets, I need 1,000 signatures, and I got all of those signatures personally. I went to the Parks and Rec centers, I went to the library, I went to the post office, and it's not because I didn't, a lot of people can pay to get signatures. You can pay $7 a signature, $2, $5, however much you pay. It's not that I didn't want to. No, it's not that I didn't have the money or thought it was a waste. What I wanted is that I like to engage with the residents of Chandler, because how often are you going to see President Biden at the store? How often are you going to see State Treasurer Kimberly Yee? How often are you going to see Governor Hobbs? How often are you going to see your U.S. Senate representatives? It's very rare that you're going to see them in Fry's or at the gas station. But if you live in the city of Chandler, or even if you live near the city of Chandler, there's a very good chance that you're going to meet me, you're going to see other people, you're going to meet your mayor, and that's what local representation really is you get to meet the people that represent you, get to shake their hand, and if you don't like something that I did on council, I want to hear from you. A lot of people shy away. I want to hear from you because I represent the residents of Chandler. And that's what it is. It's all about local representation. So I go out and I meet the residents of Chandler, and actually I counted because I was curious.
Nice.
3 people asked how old I was and said I was too young. Only 3.
Only 3. Wow.
A lot of people ask how old I am, and I tell them. I say, guess what? I say, I will tell you my age, but before I tell you my age, can I tell you my platform first? And then they say, go ahead. And then I tell them my platform, and then I say, would you like to still know my age? Nope, I don't need to. And then they sign my petition to help me get on the ballot. My platform actually on that subject is supporting public safety, because we all deserve to live in a safe community no matter who you are. I want to develop our workforce, because right now we're seeing a silver tsunami. Business owners are losing employees more than they can get them. And I want to develop our workforce so we can continue investing in future infrastructure to ensure Chandler's future. And then I also want to support the American dream. Just like my parents worked hard, I want to make sure that everybody has their opportunity to work hard and succeed in this country, because no matter who you are, where you're from, what your background is, as long as you work hard, you succeed in this country. That's how it is. There's a lot of CEOs and multimillionaires that will tell you, I first came to this country and I only had 2 pennies, and from now I'm a multimillionaire with 5 different houses. So I want to make sure that Chandler can stay an all-American city where we have a lot of people that work hard and then come back and love and serve our community. And I'm also running to advance parks and fields, because we need to have strong families. And the goal and key to having strong families is having healthy kids. And having healthy kids is making sure that they can go out and be kids, climb a tree, play on a playground, be a kid, be strong, be healthy, be physically active, and then create strong families for future generations. So my entire platform is all about the future of Chandler, continuing our success and ensuring that we continue to grow. That's my whole platform. That's why my tagline is investing in Chandler's future. So I tell everyone, let's invest in Chandler's future, because that's what this is all about, is investing in our future.
Well said again. I am very, very happy to see that you understood your platform very well. Now, for thousands of people that you talked to and got signature, how well do your platform align to theirs?
It aligns very well with people, because I think no matter who you are, you want to live in a safe community. No matter who you are, you want to live in a successful community. And no matter who you are, you want to live in a strong, healthy community. And, my platform, it's not about, and I tell people that, I am young, so I'm bringing a youth perspective, so I care about the youth of our city. But for me, it's about everybody, all residents of Chandler. So each one of my bullet points is it helps each generation, right? So the parks and fields, it helps the youth, the very, very little ones, to stay healthy and strong and active in their community, and physically active. Developing our workforce, that supports our business owners, our middle-aged and young business owners, right? That need employees, that need the workforce and our infrastructure. And then supporting the American dream. That's for everybody, no matter who you are, all generations, right? We want to be able to work hard and succeed in this country. And then on top of that, I'm also running to support public safety. That's, again, all generations. And one of my top things for supporting public safety is bringing the resource, because being in a safe community affects everybody, no matter who you are. I mean, older generation, younger generation, mid-generation, you want to be safe. I think that's something that everybody agrees on. And I know there's a handful of different countries outside of the US that are not very safe. You can't even walk down the streets. And I want to make sure that Chandler stays a very safe city. And supporting public safety, for me, that means being proactive. Obviously, if you've been watching the news, you know that teen violence is a very big issue that's affecting Arizona.
That's right.
And I want to ensure that that's a problem that's being addressed. Because not only do I bring the youth perspective, I also experience running a nonprofit, bringing educational resources to teens, and I also work for a police department. So I feel that I'm a triple threat in addressing this problem. I want to bring the resources to the teens. One of the biggest things that we see in teen violence is that crimes go unreported. And a lot of them might not know the resources, or they might not trust the police. And that's a problem, because we have a great police department in Chandler. Chandler PD is bar none. And we need to make sure that they can trust them, as well as understand the resources. There's a lot of anonymous witness hotlines that they can call. And teens don't know about that. And if they did, they would report more crimes. And the more crimes they report, the more witnesses we have. The more witnesses we have, the more bad people we can put away. And the more bad people we put away, the safer our community is. It's kind of like a math. It's like 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6, right? It's like, more crimes being witnessed and reported means more arrests. More arrests means safer community. And that's what it's all about. And so that's why I feel like I'm a triple threat to addressing this problem, because I ran a nonprofit addressing issues that face our community. I work for a police department, and I also, have experience. I bring that youth perspective. I can connect and I can resonate with them. A lot of college students and a lot of young voters always say, I don't relate with anyone. I can't ever, connect with somebody. And so I think we need more younger people that are willing to step up and serve their local community.
Well, Joseph, you definitely know what you're talking about.
Thank you.
Very logical in your thinking and very sure of how to approach problems. So, clearly the directions is what I'm seeing emerging here. So I know that you've passed a hurdle of getting 1,000 signatures or more. What's next from now until July 30th?
So what's next? So the next big hurdle, because politics is like a bunch of big hurdles. So the first hurdle was the signatures.
Yes.
I think that's where we see the most amount of people kind of start to drop out of the race, because it's not easy getting 1,000 signatures. You either need to put in a lot of money to pay for those signatures, or you need to be willing to boots on the ground. And I'm boots on the ground all the way. And the next hurdle is fundraising. So now it's all about making the calls and asking people to contribute to the campaign and investing. I always say, invest in Chandler's future. Let's invest in Chandler's future together by investing in my campaign. Because I don't say, you could say it's a donation, you could say it's a contribution. I say it's an investment, because you're investing in me, you're investing in the future of Chandler, and you're investing in our community. And it's important that we do that. And so I guess that's my thing for everybody out there. If there's anybody watching that wants to help contribute to, making sure that we have representation on our council, and also making sure that we can continue serving our local community, you can go to yang.vote. That's my website. It's yang.vote. Really, the only two things you need to remember is yang and voting. So yang.vote. That's why I love that website. And for right now, I know some people might say, I don't have enough money to donate. I accept all kinds of contributions. 100, 500, the max amount is 6,550. That's the max amount you can donate. So you can donate any range in between there. But I'm also requesting for anybody that wants to support but doesn't have the big financial means to support, for $20, you can sponsor one street sign. And on the side of the streets, when you're driving, I'm sure everybody sees them. You see those street signs. Each one of those costs roughly $20. So I'm asking people, if you have $20 to spare, help contribute to the campaign by sponsoring one street sign. And all I need is 200 people to sponsor one street sign, and we're good to go, and we're well on our way already. I've got close to, I believe, about 100 people more than 100 people that have sponsored a street sign. So we've got good momentum. Thank you so much. So sponsor a street sign, contribute to the campaign, or if you live in Chandler, you can go and sign my petition. That is also a huge help, just signing the petition.
Okay. And thank you for that. And I'm sure we'll run the information on the screen here. So if you need a reminder of the website, we'll tell you. Now, there's another hurdle, because I did have the opportunity to interview Sam Huang when he was elected, or prior to being elected and afterwards. During the campaign, he actually experienced some of the, I would say, not nice gestures, such as his signs were pulled and so on. How are you preparing yourself to deal with those situations?
So actually, on the back of my signs, I'm going to attach a mini paper, because tampering with political signs is a class 1 misdemeanor, and it is a crime if you're not authorized by the candidate to touch or tamper with their signs. So it's all about putting those on, and it's really relying on the people of the community, that if you see something, say something. And there you go, I work for police department, so that's a perfect plug right there. Not just signs, but if you see a crime, report a crime. That's the best way to stop crime in your community, and that's the best way you can help support low crime rates in your city. If you see something, say something. Not just my signs, but if you're driving and you see somebody tampering a sign, call the candidate, call the police, call someone. You can call the police, and it is a class 1 misdemeanor to tamper with political signs. So you can call someone and they can find out what sign, and if they get there fast enough, they can catch them, because these signs are expensive. It is money, it's $20 a piece. And if you damage 10 signs, that's already $200 that somebody has to spend replacing. Not to mention it's a number of days that are going without signs, because each sign has a lot of impressions. Because if I drive down a road and I see that sign, boom, that's one impression. Another, boom, that's another impression. And so every time every minute that sign's not there, you lose impressions, and you lose people your name ID. And so it's damaging in a number of ways. So number 1, combating that. But number 2, it's also just being vigilant, and making sure the community gets out there and supports me, and make sure that, if you see something, say something. But really, other than that, there's no real way to stop it. We've just got to get to the root problem and see something, say something. And from there, it's just, and that's it. And I hope everyone understands that it is a big challenge. If you damage people's signs, it's a big problem. So that's just it, is combating that, and and hopefully I think I'm a nice person, so maybe they might not do that to me.
I think you look bright, you sound bright, you have a bright future, and I wish you all the best. I'm almost certain from now until July, we're probably going to invite you back and let you continue to share your story, update us on the progress, and so on. But I know that we're only talking about city council member now, but for yourself, your big grand future, do you foresee yourself moving further in the politics world?
Well, I never say no. I hate giving no as an answer. I hate getting no as an answer, so I hate giving no as an answer. So I never want to say no. In politics, it's all about opportunity. It's really a game of opportunity, because one day it could be, I want to do this. There's a lot of people that have planned all day long, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, and then one day something happens and a position opens. Okay, I'll go for that. Like maybe when I win city council and I'm on the council, and maybe a higher office, somebody resigns, and then maybe I think, I could go for that position. It's all about opportunity. But as of right now, my focus is only on city council, because we need to continue serving our local community, and that's always what it's about for me. And so I never want to say no, but at the same time, who knows? If God opens the doors, then it's meant to be, and He wants it to happen.
Well, thank you for that. I am a citizen of Chandler. I'll definitely vote.
Team Chandler.
So once again, thank you for being here, Joseph. It's a pleasure talking to you
so much.
and finding out more about you. And I'm absolutely sure our audience will enjoy the conversation as well, and keep us posted.
Awesome, I will, absolutely. And thank you so much, Tiffany and David, for having me on at Viet News USA. If you want to learn more about my campaign, like I said, it's yang.vote, yang.vote. Or all my social media, it's Yang for Chandler. I'm very active on social media. I'm also very responsive, so if you send me a message on Facebook or Instagram, I reply typically within a day, because like I said, I love engaging with our residents, and not just residents of Chandler. I like engaging with everybody. You know, if you're nice, I'm nice.
What a great attitude. Well, thank you again.
Thank you, Tiffany.
And go Chandler.
Yes, go Chandler.
Well, thanks everyone for your time today. Once again, we'll run all the important information about Yang's campaign, especially where you can donate if you're up for supporting this young Asian members of our community. So we're just trying to make a difference in the city of Chandler. So thanks again for your time. See you next time.
Awesome. Thank you guys. Have a good night.
Mời quý đồng hương hãy đến với nhà hàng Mekong Palace. Nhà hàng được bình chọn The Best Điểm Sống in Arizona với những món điểm sống ngon được mọi người mến chuộng như xíu mại, há cảo tôm hấp, chân gà nấu tương đen, bánh cuốn, bánh bao xá xíu, xôi hấp lá sen, vân vân. Ngoài ra, nhà hàng còn nhận đặt tiệc, catering tận nhà hoặc venue cưới. Nhà hàng Mekong Palace mở cửa từ thứ Hai đến thứ Sáu, từ 11 giờ sáng đến 9 giờ tối, điểm sống từ 11 giờ sáng đến 3 giờ chiều. Thứ Bảy và Chủ nhật, từ 10 giờ sáng đến 9 giờ tối, điểm sống từ 10 giờ sáng đến 3 giờ chiều. Nhà hàng Mekong Palace tọa lạc tại 66 South Dobson Road, phòng 120, Mesa, Arizona 85202. Điện thoại 480-962-0493, 480-962-0493. Cảm ơn quý khán giả đã theo dõi chương trình Song ngữ Cuộc sống quanh ta với Tiffany Mộng Tuyền và khách mời. Chương trình phát hình vào mỗi tối thứ Hai hàng tuần trong khung giờ quen thuộc là 7 giờ PM giờ Arizona trên channel Viet News USA. Mọi đóng góp ý kiến cũng như tham gia chương trình, vui lòng liên lạc với chúng tôi qua số điện thoại 602 481 2647 hoặc theo địa chỉ email info.vietnewsusa@gmail.com. Chân thành cảm ơn. Chúc quý khán giả có một ngày thật là vui bên gia đình và người thân. Hẹn gặp lại quý khán giả trong chương trình tới. Và đừng quên bấm nút like, nút chuông để luôn theo dõi cũng như chia sẻ các chương trình của Viet News đến với mọi người. Have a wonderful day and see you soon.